Alright guys, welcome back to day 21, and like I said, I'm shooting this right after day 20, so obviously I'm going to be wearing the same clothes. Don't be alarmed. Anyway, picking up where I left off, like I said, the reason that this story correlates with what was going on was, I was just kind of lonely around Christmas because Chrissy had gone home to Georgia. And I think what it was, I was worried that the time apart would turn me into something that I didn't want, which was something that I developed in high school over what happened, like what I started talking about in the last video. And this story definitely did change me, as I'll say, and thinking about it really bothered me and started to make me feel like that I was gonna become distant towards Prissy when she came back. But anyway, picking up with the story itself, so I do definitely have to backtrack to the January before I had been confirmed, which was in, I believe, February of 2005, sorry. Anyway, so we were going on our final retreat. We were going out to the wilderness, well, not really wilderness, we were going to a cabin somewhere in Texas, to get away from everything, to get away from everyday life and to focus on our faith. And I want to say, so we were there for a whole weekend, Friday, part of Friday, all of Saturday, and some of Sunday. I want to say it was Saturday night. I believe it was dark outside. But on Saturday night, which is what started everything, which started the downfall between me and Asana, what happened was, the leaders decided that we were going to have adoration for an hour. Which, if you don't know what adoration is, you're basically like silently praying for an hour, to God, about whatever, really. And so, all of us were doing it. So, we were all in a semicircle, I guess, in front of there was a stage in the front. And so, we so we were we were kneeling there for quite a while. Me and Asuna were kneeling, I guess you could say, pretty close to each other. My other friend, I'm not exactly sure where he was, but I think that was around the time where, gosh, I hope that everyone that's watching this has already been through confirmation or isn't part of the Catholic Church, because I want to say that was around the time where you would get your letters from your sponsor and from your parents. So that's why I said, I hope that you have been through this, because I don't want to spoil anything. But, so, I got mine, and I read it, and I was pretty choked up about it. My mom and dad and my uncle had given me, their letters. And what you have to understand is that over the year that I had met Asana, it was quite a while by then. It was a lot longer than me and Chrissy at our point in the story. She had gotten together and broken up with a boyfriend. And on one hand, I was like, I remember when it happened that I was like a little, disappointed. I was like, that could have been me if I had said something. But, I was like, I'm just going to let it take its course and hope for the best. And, they broke up not too long after that. They didn't stay together for too long, but point being, after that, and definitely throughout the year, let me take a really quick drink break, sorry. Throughout the year, I'm not very proud of what I'm about to say, but the problem with what happened between me and Asna was, in my mind, or looking back on it, when I thought about it, I'm not necessarily sure if this is true, but I basically developed not even just a crush on Asna, it was a little more of a obsession, in the sense that it was almost all I ever really thought about. If I wasn't thinking about what I was doing in school, I was thinking about what I would do to win over Asna. And so, as we knelt there in that cabin, my group leader, I don't remember exactly why, and I never asked, he took Asna and brought her somewhere for whatever reason. And I just remember being really stupid and, well, in hindsight at least, just being like, where the hell is she going? We were sitting next to each other, and or not sitting, but kneeling next to each other, and I was like pretty happy. And I like to think that that was the spark that started the whole downfall, in the sense that, so that's when it started. That's when I was just like starting to become like a little more obsessive, in the sense that, I was already not like, it wasn't so much that I was gonna be like, this is gonna happen. It turned into, this has to happen, that it was the end all be all in my mind, that I had to be with Asna. And that turned into jumping ahead, running out of time, jumping ahead to May, which is what definitely was the changing thing. Well, actually it was in April. So April, in English, I had to write a paper about someone that has impacted my life, whether it be positively or negatively. And I remember my first choice being my band director, and in hindsight, obviously, maybe I should have taken that choice, but I started to think about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to write about Asna. I'm going to write about how she made me feel, and how I like her, and I, at the time, loved her, and, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to write it and hopefully get the courage to show it to her, so that she knows at least, and then we'll see what happens. So I wrote it. I got a B, I think. And instead of showing her, what happened was I showed all my friends, most of my friends I should say, and pretty much all of them, agreed that they were like, it was a pretty cute paper, I'm not gonna lie. So all of them were like, you should totally tell her. And I was like, yeah, I know, I said that to myself when I wrote this, but I was like, I don't know. And so, you know what, I was just like, one day I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'll just show her the paper and be like, here you go, and just walk away and hope for the best. But I didn't do that. I took the paper that I had typed out and wrote in the back, and I started putting something that I wrote in spur of the moment, how I felt like that I had liked her at first, but it started to turn into more of an obsession, and I didn't really like it. And I remember I put the words, and I give myself shit for this every day. I put the words, my obsession has gotten to a point where I didn't think I should be around Asna. And I put that pretty bluntly. I was like, for both of our sakes, I need to not be. I know that I like you, but for both of our sakes, I need to not be with you. You need to not talk to me. anymore. And I remember, because we had the same lunch, and my friend gave her the paper. And I remember just looking down, like with a death face, like already, having a pale look, like regretting my decision to write that extra part. And I remember slightly looking up and her just staring into my soul, like thinking to herself probably, what the fuck? So, so basically, to help wrap things up and to explain this, she took my advice, and since that day we've never spoken to each other. We stopped being friends, we stopped hanging out, and it wasn't even just because of not having confirmation, because we still had senior year, and it was definitely very awkward, because the first day I remember that we sat in the band hall, and just us looking at each other, not knowing what to say. But all of that really made me very hesitant to really talk to any girl, to become close, I should say, in the sense that I saw what happened to someone that I just really genuinely liked turn into something horrible, at least in my mind. And so it really changed me, and it made me a lot more introverted than I already was. And it definitely, I guess you could say, averted me from becoming even just a normal guy that could even just say one word to a girl. And that really went through all the way up until I met Chrissy, which is why I told her that. I told her this exact story pretty much. I wouldn't say word for word, but generally that's all I said. And so I started thinking about this story when Chrissy was away in Georgia, and I just remember thinking, I was just like, I cannot let what happened between me and Asna happen to me and Chrissy, because both of these girls I had definitely genuinely gotten accustomed to and really liked, and I didn't want that downfall from me and Asna happening to me and Chrissy. And that's really what started to get me really frustrated, in the sense that she wasn't here, that she wasn't at home, that Chrissy hadn't even told me up until a couple days before she left that she was going back home. And that's why I said that it started to cause a rift between us, and that's where I am definitely going to end this vlog. And hopefully that wasn't a very abrupt ending. It kind of was, but I understand if it wasn't. So, yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you like it, give it a like, and share it with your friends if you can. And until tomorrow, see ya.